Hey everybody, this is Mr. Jackson, and today we're going to talk about the five themes of geography. Now, the five themes of geography are very important because when geographers gather information on population or different information they have about the different landforms that they may encounter on the planet, they use the five themes of geography to organize all of the geographic information that they get. So that's why it's so important. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at each one in a little more detail, and hopefully I can clear up any confusion there may be about the five themes of geography. All right, we're going to go through all five today. The five themes are location, place, region, movement, and human environment interaction. Now, for all of my people taking Cornell notes, I would think that you would already have your paper ready. Don't worry about creating the questions on the left hand side. I got that covered for you. Just look at the top of the slides. Those are going to be the questions that should go along with your notes. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. The first theme is location. Now, location is an exact position using latitude or longitude or a description of a place in relation to other places around it. All right. Now that may not make much sense, but hopefully when I get into it, it'll make more sense. All right. There are two types of location. There's absolute location and relative location. Now let's take a look at both of those so we can get a better idea of location. Absolute location, that's when they use exact values, like the coordinates that we've been looking at in class, or an address to find a location. Now, if you look at that picture right there, this is 1092 Franklin Avenue. All right. Now, if I live in the city where this address is, I know exactly where to go. I punch it in my GPS, 1092 Franklin Avenue. It's an exact value where I know exactly where to go. Just like the latitude and longitude. If I have 35 degrees north and 81 degrees west, I know that that is the exact location, the absolute location of Charlotte, North Carolina. I know if I go to those coordinates, I will be right there. So that's an absolute location because it gives you exact values and it tells you exactly where to go. All right. Relative location is a little bit different. Relative location is kind of like what people do when they give people directions. Somebody might ask, hey, how do you get to the Starbucks? Oh, well, you take 2 blocks down this way and you make a right and then you make a left and it's across the street from the Pizza Hut. That's a relative location. You didn't give anybody an exact value. You gave them directions to where it's around. All right? So like if I said, "Hey, where's Bank of America Stadium?" "Oh, Bank of America Stadium, that's where the Panthers play. It's uptown." "Oh, well, where is the bank?" "Oh, the bank is around the block." All right? Those are relative locations. All right? That's why I put this little picture in here. Somebody might say, "Hey, the Pizza Hut is across the street." You didn't give me an exact value, so you didn't tell me an absolute location. You told me where it was in relation to other places. That's a relative location. All right, so that's location. Let's go and look at another theme of geography, and that is place. All right, a place tells you what a certain location is like. All right, place describes the physical characteristics of a place, things like mountains and rivers, as well as human characteristics like the people who live there. All right, when you think about it, school is a place. School is a place, that has human characteristics like teachers and students. Now, I can get more precise and give you a location of a school. Well, Moorhead STEM Academy is at 7810 Neal Road in Charlotte, North Carolina. 28262 is the zip code. That's an exact value. But when I tell you about Moorhead as a place, I describe things that go along in there. Oh, well, Moorhead, yeah, that's where I go to school. It has kindergartners all the way up to eighth graders. It's like we have a lot of cool science classes. We got the best social studies teacher in the world, Mr. Jackson. He's like 9 feet tall. You're describing to someone what Moorhead STEM Academy is like. You're not telling them where it is. So when you're describing what a place is like, you're talking about place. You're not talking about location. All right? Well, people might be confused. It's like, man, Mr. Jackson, location and place, they sound pretty much the same. Well, it's really not. They're pretty different things. Location tells you where something is, but place describes what that location is like. Now, take this picture for example. This is Times Square. All right, I'm sure most of you have heard of it. All right. Now, if I wanted to talk about location at Times Square, well, Times Square is in New York City at Broadway and 7th Avenue. But if I wanted to talk about the place, Times Square, I'm describing it. All right. Times Square, it's a busy place with many tourists and a lot of bright lights and billboards. All right. Location, I tell you where it is. Place, I describe what it's like. All right. I hope everybody can understand that. Let's move on. Regions. What is a region? Regions are areas that have physical or human characteristics that unite them and either make them different than other regions or the same as other regions. All right, let's look at this a little bit further, okay? We have this picture over here on top on the right. This is a desert region. All right, we all know that desert regions, all deserts are dry and hot and dusty all year long. That's your standard desert region. What's the physical characteristic that unites all desert regions? They're dry and hot and dusty. It's like they have a dry, hot climate all year long. All right. But if you come down here, it says tropical regions are warm and moist all year long. This highlighted area on this little map between 23.5 degrees northern latitude and 23.5 degrees southern latitude. This area between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn is called the tropics. All right? It's right around the equator, and this region of the planet, it's always warm and moist all year long. All year long. This is where you're going to find most of your rainforests, or all your rainforests. All right? What's the physical characteristic that unites them? Well, they're all warm and moist. All right? Let's bring it a little closer to home. How many of you have ever heard of a region of Charlotte called University City? Well, it's called the University City region because there's a human characteristic, well, a physical and a human characteristic that unites that area. Well, the physical characteristic is the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, is in University City. And the human characteristic that brings it all together is a lot of university students live in that area. So that's why it's called the University City region or University City area because of those two characteristics that unite that region. All right? I hope that explained it a lot for everybody. Let's move on to something else. That was regions. What's next? Movement. All right? Movement is pretty simple. Movement, it just tells us how people, goods, and ideas move from one place to another. All right. Now, I got a few pictures on this page. You look at this. This is just an interstate. Look, whenever you go on vacation, if it's on a road trip, most likely you're getting on an interstate so that you and your family could leave from Charlotte and go to Myrtle Beach or go to Florida or go to Virginia Beach, wherever people around here go on vacation. I know when I go visit my family in Buffalo, I have to get on an interstate and go all the way up north to New York. All right. How do goods get around? Well, goods might get around on a boat, sailing the seas. These are cargo ships. Or goods can move in a delivery van. Delivery van on those interstates or other roads, I'm sorry. But I bet people are wondering, it's like, man, Mr. Jackson, what is what does a phone have to do with movement? Well, I'll tell you. It's like that's how you get ideas from one place to another. If you have an idea that you want to tell someone, the first thing you do is pick up the phone, dial that number, beep beep boom boom boop boop boop, and you dial someone and you tell them that idea. Now that idea has gone from you to another person on the other side of town. If it's to a relative that's in Georgia, it went from North Carolina to Georgia. All right? That's how ideas move from place to place. If you're not talking, you're texting. All right? There's another tool that you guys use every day, and I'm hoping that somebody will post it on Edmodo because I know you guys know it's a big tool that all kids today use, and it's how ideas can travel globally, not just from state to state, but from country to country, continent to continent. All right? If you know what it is, somebody go to Edmodo and post it in there and let me know what that big example of movement is, how ideas are getting from one place to another. All right? So that's movement. I'm going to move on to our last theme. Our last theme is human environment interaction. Well, what is human environment interaction? Actually, it's exactly what it sounds like. Human environment interaction tells us how people relate to the physical world. All right. How do people interact with the earth? All right. Now, we all know that humans adapt to their environment, but they also change the environment to have the environment adapt to them. All right. Look at these pictures I have here. Sometimes human environment interaction is good and sometimes it's not so good. All right. This man is fishing. He's fishing in a river. All right. That's human environment interaction. He had to interact with something that was already part of the environment. This river is part of the environment. And he's fishing. Maybe he's fishing for fun. Maybe he's fishing for survival to get food to eat. All right. But either way he's doing it, he's interacting with the environment as a human being. These people skiing. All right. These ski slopes are part of the environment. These human beings are just interacting with it. If you like to go swimming in the ocean, that's human environment interaction. Surfing, that's human environment interaction. Now, those are all things that people do recreationally for fun with how you interact with the environment. But look at this over here. This is not so good. Look at all this trash on the beach. You see these people over here being disrespectful to Mother Earth? You're killing her. Littering is not good. All right? That's how human beings are changing elements of the environment. Because this trash is not meant to be here. It's meant to be in a trash can. It's not meant to just be all over the beach, all over the environment. All right? When you see big bulldozers and they're chopping down trees in the forest to build a new office building or a new home, all right? That's an example of human beings changing their environment to fit their needs. They're making their environment adapt to them. I hope everybody understands that because that's a pretty simple, really simple theme. All right, the last two themes we did, movement and human environment interaction, are probably the easiest themes to grasp. All right. Now, that's all I really have for you today. I hope that everyone enjoyed this little video. Just keep in mind, it's the first video I've ever done. So hopefully, I can jazz it up a bit, make it look nice, get a little mood music in there, get people bobbing their head